Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit, Zabby here, back again with Fate Unlimited Playworks. We are on episode 7, or episode 8 if you're watching on Netflix. In the last episode, we left off with Archer defending Shiro because Shiro got taken out of his humble abode and got essentially teleported to Ryudo Temple, where Casta is sort of held up. She is also teaming up with Assassin, or who he himself calls Assassin. Even though he doesn't look anything like an assassin, and it would also mean that the woman that we saw in episode 5/6, whatever, it would mean that that woman isn't assassin, even though she looks like an assassin. It's all fucking confusing, man. So hopefully there's some answers coming along with a fight, because that's what I'm expecting. So yeah, I don't think I want to talk about anything else. I think we're just going to get into this episode. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 7, I guess, or episode 8 if you're watching on Netflix. Right, that was a nuts episode to kind of wrap my head around, because I was like, I felt like there was so much going against, like, on a lot of levels. I felt like there was just betrayal, like, you know, constantly, and sort of people or characters like almost going against, feeling like they're almost going against that kind of their like what they like actually believe. But I've gone back through some scenes and interestingly enough, with what just happened with Archer there, I think he, you see, but I don't know on what level how this would even be possible. I feel like because when he attacked him, when he hit Shiro, right, he could have easily killed him, like, then, you know what I mean? And like, just after he hit him, there was a moment of, like, where it kind of went into, like, the, you know, like, the actual, like, the servants, like, the heroes, like, you know, like, if it's, like, a flashback to, like, what happened, like, back in their time and stuff. Because we've had that, like, before in other, with other heroes and stuff. Where he's, like, you know, he's on the hill and whatnot. Shiro was there at one point, right? This is where it's nuts for me, because I'm thinking, like, there's a clear connection between Shiro and Archer. I don't know how. It's odd for him, because is it the pendant? There's something that connects them. He has, like, he's been having dreams that you would normally have with the servant that you're connected to, right? But seemingly in this episode there was one, like, earlier on, and I was just associating it with Saber's, because she also, the same as you know, hers was, like, on a hill of, like, almost like a mound of, like, dead bodies and stuff, whereas Archer's is kind of like just an actual, like, just a rolling, almost like a dirt hill. So they're similar. But when we first saw that image of Shiro on top of there and he was dreaming, I thought it must have been Saber, like, in regards to Saber. But it's in regards to Archer, though. So he's having those connected, like, subconscious dreams and imagery from Archer. And the only way I know that could, the only way I think that could be possible, it must be the pendant. Because a few episodes ago, there was a thing where Shiro apparently still has the pendant, right? But if you go back to episode the prologue, right? Archer gives Rin back her pendant. So there's two pendants. And that's the only thing I can think of. And that originally, Tokyomi passed that down, right? To Rin. You see, like, I want to take you through, like, my mindset as well while I was watching it the first time, and I didn't, like, go back through to some scenes, because I feel like, as a reaction, I think it's kind of fair to you lot that I give you my, like, sort of initial reaction to something, as opposed to, like, you know, as soon as the episode's, like, ended, I get confused, so I go back and just rewatch the sort of, like, the scenes just to make sure that I'm getting everything right. I'd like to give you, like, my perspective on the initial reaction, like, as well, like, for watching it, like, for the first time, because I feel like because I was confused. There was a lot of things running through my head, like, because like I said in the last episode discussion, like, Archer said that, like, he completed his dream, or, like, you know what I mean, he completed his mission in his life, therefore he doesn't need the Grail, or he doesn't want it, right? And I was like, well, hold on, he said that he purposefully he doesn't remember who he is, right? So something's happened along the way where either he is lying, he lied about not knowing who he is, or he's gotten some information since that time, and he kind of knows who he is now. So in this episode, when he is, like, spouting, like, all of this, well, first of all, he's like not killing Castor, right, which is, like, that's nuts to me. But, you know, but then he said, like, the reason why is because he's, you know, let her do her thing so she gets powerful enough to be able to take out Berserkers, essentially, you know, the sort of strategies he's you know, trying to get to work there anyway. And he's, like, spouting off, like, this ideals, and it's obviously, because of the show knows, it compares what he's talking about with what Kiritsugu, like, what he found out in his life after his Holy Grail War and stuff like that, about how, like, you know, to save, like, you know, I mean, if you're saving one, then another kind of, you know, has to die. You know, you can't save everyone. And sometimes in order to save one, others have to die. So, in my head, right, and I know how stupid it is, but I was like, because I was so, like, convinced before that, like, Kiritsugu couldn't possibly be dead, and then I got one of you guys, like, told me that he actually is dead. And then I was like, fuck, like, there's got to be more to it. And then, like, when Archer's, like, spouting off details, I thought, like, maybe there's a thing with Archer not knowing who he is. Could it be possible that one of the heroes summoned could be Kiritsugu? You know what I mean? Like, how do you distinguish between a hero and what isn't a hero? You know what I mean? Like how recent and how could you be considered a hero of that regard? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, for example, like, since Kiritsugu's dead, could he theoretically be classed as a hero or not? And could it be, like, summoned as one? Probably not. But I was just thinking, like, is there a, because all I'm thinking is like, there's some connection between the two, right? Between Archer and then Kiritsugu there. And then apparently there's this connection between Archer and Shiro as well. I'm like, well, what connections does Shiro have exactly that could possibly, that could work in that regard? There's been, like, talks over the past, like, couple episodes about, you know, Rin talking to Shiro about how, you know, Shiro's father never managed to pass down a crest. Well, is this kind of like a way of doing it without Kiritsugu actually doing it? Like, is Archer able to pass down something to Shiro? Because at the end of this episode, Saber's like, you could get to that point. Like, how does that work? Like, you could get to that point. Like, you could get to Archer's level. For the record, I don't think that Archer is Kiritsugu, but I'm just giving you like what my mindset was, like my initial reaction watching it through the first time, like the thoughts that were popping into my head. So yeah, and then even at the end there, Saber saying that Archer isn't cruel, and like, you know, because like saying that his heart is pure, almost like Saber kind of agreeing with the philosophy that Archer was spouting, which is interesting because he was spouting something that Kiritsugu, like that relates to Kiritsugu, right? And we know what happened in Zero. Saber and Kiritsugu's ideals completely didn't mix at all; they clashed. So it's interesting that Saber is fine with that. Maybe fine with the wrong term, but you know what I mean. She can accept it now, whereas she couldn't when it was Kiritsugu talking about it. It's interesting. But yeah, it's that thing of like, Archer could have just easily killed him, but he didn't. He slashed at his back, and then after that, there was that thing of him being connected to we've got to look at like Archer when he was sitting on that that like hill or whatever, and he had like one of his like dagger things, right, and it was broken, and then he sort of like disappeared, and then I think that was something different. I think that was like, I think that first part of the sequence wasn't Rin looking at that. I don't think. The second part of it was Rin, right? Because she woke up from, like, you know, immediately afterwards. So the second part was hers. I think there was something that Archer just wasn't telling him. But there has to be some, like, I think there's something he's able to pass down to him or something. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, I don't know how it's going to go, because with Saber saying that, like, oh, he's like, his heart's pure and whatnot, it's like, the annoying thing is that Shiro said, like, oh, my allegiance is with Rin, not him. It's like, that it continues to that, though. Like, you can't just say, oh, I have allegiance with Rin, so that's fine. I don't owe him, and like, he doesn't owe me anything. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, Archer, like, is supposed to do the bidding of his master, which is Rin, and since he's going against that, it's supposed to meld into one. Like, because you're in a truce with Rin, that means that you're in a truce with Archer as well. Like, it's not like they both have individual, you know what I mean? Like, but he has this, Shiro has this fucking, like, in a way, like, I do feel, like, infuriated by his sort of, the way that he sees things, and, like, you know what I mean? I kind of get infuriated with it, because it doesn't feel like it makes sense. I feel like his outlook and the way that he thinks about things is so, like not logical at all. Like, it's like, it's so hard to explain. He sees things so weird, but the funny thing is, right, is that me saying that as like a viewer, but the characters that interacted with him, right, see it as like they praise him for it. So Saber, right, loves the fact that he is the way he is like that, and Rin has praised him in the past for being like that because he's not like a bragger or whatever, right? He's humble and stuff like that. Like he's just an all around good dude. But like, I can't get past the way he like the way he thinks about things. You know, it's just so odd. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sure one of the things I didn't go back to actually was the assassin. Yeah, he says, I sent you to give Vixen a scare. So basically he was fine. He basically let Archer in. So Castor and the assassin that she summoned are just not on the same page at all. but he does his job. But so yeah, so Castor summoned that one. Castor summoned that assassin and broke the rules. That's nuts. That's nuts. I never thought that would be a thing. I feel like I've heard that before as well, you know. I feel like in Zero it might be mentioned like that it could be possible for that to happen. I feel like I have heard that like that dialogue like at some point happen. I'm sure I have seen it. But I might be wrong. But I feel like I have. But I never thought like when he turned up and he said that he was assassin, and I was thinking that the other girl's obviously assassin. And I'm getting confused, and I'm like, could it be the same person and it's like a form change, or is there multiple again like there was in Zero? Because I was just looking at that like I was just thinking about like that woman that obviously is assassin. I'm like, there's no way that's Ryder. There's just no way. This explains it though. So there's eight servants in play then. That's nuts, man. That's crazy. You mentioned, or Saber mentioned his name as well. So apparently he must have given her that. Sasaki Kojiro. I'm gonna have to look it up, aren't I? He says he was nameless before, but like, clearly isn't then. You know what I mean? Sasaki Kojiro. Here we go. Right. Was a prominent Japanese swordsman, widely considered a master of his craft. Born in Fukui, he lived the Azuchi Momoyama, early Edo periods. So he died battling Miyamoto Musashi. That is a name I recognise. Chujo Ryu is his sword fighting sort of style. Yeah, he used it. He used the Nodachi, that long katana thing that he was wielding. He fended off 3 people at once. That's cool. I'm trying to find like anything that's like any knowledge that's worth having, like having a look at. There's a lot here though. There's a lot of information here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can really find that's worth noting, really. But oh well. So yeah, Sasaki Kojiro. Yeah. I wrote down Shiro's healing ability because I forgot to talk about that at one point. I didn't notice when he, after the battle with Berserker, like after that episode, he has like a wound like back here that like heals immediately, and like Saber's like impressed by like his ability to just heal like that, and I was like, hold on a second, like that completely passed me by when I watched it the first time. When I was making the reaction, I think I like paused it and showed it, but that's something nuts that completely passed me by and I didn't even fucking think about because I was paying attention to like the subtitles or whatever. I didn't even notice what was happening on screen. And I don't even know what to make of that. Like, he has an insane healing ability somehow. So yeah. Fuck knows. He has extended healing. I don't know where he's gotten that from. I don't know how that's like just a thing that's. I guess he's just innately got it. I guess. Like servants have. Like abilities. They have like stats, right? Like you know, servants have like, you know, different abilities and stuff like that, and stats. It's almost like he does. Like, it's not possible like Shiro could be like almost like a servant, right? Like, could that be possible? I doubt it, but I find it odd that, like, I don't know, because all I'm thinking about now is like after the end of Zero, when everything like went to shit and like exploded and fucking and whatnot, that Shiro was left alive, but we haven't heard anything like of what his real parents might be. You know what I mean? Like, almost like he was summoned there by the Grail. If that's like a possibility, you know what I mean? But yeah, never know. Yeah, so during the fight, we had Archer, who used his noble phantasm thing, and he said, "I am the bone of my sword," and I think that it's Khalad Balg, right? Name of the weapon. That should be alright to search, right? Khalad Balg. Welsh, okay. It does look Welsh, to be fair. Middle Welsh. Huh. Middle Welsh. In medieval Welsh literature, and Excalibur in the matter of Britain. Why would he have that? I might be right then. I remember, like, in the fight with Berserker, right? When Archer fired this the first time, I was like, the hilt looked similar to like Saber's sword. It looked like almost like it looked like he was firing her sword. That's what it looked like to me. I thought that's what was happening at first. That was like my initial reaction when he fired it the first time, and I was like, that looks like that looks like the hilt from Saber's sword. So am I right in that regard then? Is Khalad Balg like something similar? Because like I've just looked this up on Wikipedia, and it's like, it just says Khalad Balg You know, basically it's like in medieval Welsh literature, and then it says in Excalibur in the Matter of Britain. So there's some connection there then. I don't know what really. But then there's other stuff, yeah, it's like Irish as well, like an Irish mythology and stuff. So and it says here it's like different like, you know, written differently, like Calad Cholg as well, or Hardblade is the sword of Fergus Mac Roich. Roich. So we could see if I could look at this guy and see if this is it. So Fergus Mac Roich, or Roich, or whatever it is the character of the Ulster cycle in Irish mythology. Formerly the king of Ulster, he was tricked out of the kinship and betrayed by Conchobar Mac Nesta, whatever that is. Comes an ally and lover, enemy queen. The name Fergus means man strength or virility, and Fergus is described as being of enormous size and sexual potency. For fuck's sake. Great. So it becomes a king of Ulster at some point. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. It's possible that that is Archer then, Fergus Mac Roich, or whatever his name is, but we don't know because he hasn't specifically said it. But yeah, yeah. That's all I've really got. Insane episode, and it's definitely got like it's first fucking run through. It's definitely fucking confusing. But there is definitely some connection between Shiro and, like, a fucking an ultimate connection between Shiro and Archer, because he's having visions of Archer which he shouldn't be having because he's not connected to him. Like, that's not his servant. So I think it has to do with the pendant, because there's two pendants. I don't know which one Archer has. I don't the only actually, you know what I think's happened? I think the pendant that Archer gave back to Rin is the initial pendant, and he's left another pendant there that Shiro has, and that is somehow connected to him. What is the why would he be doing this though? Why would he be doing this? If it's like a magical item that is able to connect them two on a level, like, and just have them both, like, if Shiro is connected to Archer on that level, right? Then is it a case of Archer's wanting to, when he was talking with Shiro and he was saying that, oh, I completed my mission in life, I don't want the Grail. Is he lying and saying, like, does he actually want the Grail, and he, like, because if he's able to somehow, like, have two masters almost, you know what I mean? I don't know. But there's obviously the it all just comes from, like, you know, say about at the end of that episode, basically saying that you can get to that level, like, and that, you know, like, she sees, like, them two being pretty similar, and I think that was pretty prevalent throughout the whole episode as well, like, those two being similar, like, you know, because they were arguing and stuff. So they clearly have, like, you know, it's like, it's nuts. I want more information, but that's gonna have to wait until next time. So yeah, that was all. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I'll link certain things. Discord, get yourself over there. I'm over there and the community's over there, so come over and talk to us. SirMonkeySuit.com, my website. Get yourself over there, become a member. And Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that would be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the $5 a month. That is the early access. Gives you access to shows a week early. And 4 episodes of Fate every week. $10 a month, that is the full length. Gives you access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. Exclusive tier. That gives you access to a bonus show which I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're interested in watching my reaction to that, then get over there and become an exclusive tier patron. $50, every time you pay $50 you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. That's the elite tier. It'll go at the back of the list by about 7 shows. Might take me a while to get around to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait and you want your show to be the next thing to be reacted to, then you want to get God tier, which is $100. Yeah, and that means that your show will be reacted to next. But that was all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.